Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about past lives, why they matter, how they support your healing journey, your transformation, and help you to reclaim your power and step more fully into your gifts that you're here to share in this life. And also how past lives are so powerful in helping you fulfill your mission in this life. So throughout this live, if you have any questions about past lives, you can be sure to type them into the chat. I'm going to be sharing some background and context about what inspired me to do this live, as well as my history with past lives and how I work with clients now in terms of past lives as well. So let's begin. A few days ago, I posted a Instagram post and I shared a story about when I connected to a recent past life. And I connect with past lives very often in my work with myself and also with the people that I guide. So a lot of people really responded to that post. So if you haven't read that one, you can go back. It's the one where I'm like standing and it's like I'm in a white dress and the background's kind of fuzzy. And in that post, I give a full description of like what I saw in that life and then the healing that happened in this life. And people were like, I want to understand, like, how do you connect to your past lives? What does it feel like? What's the point of it? So that's what inspired me. It was your comments and your posts. So with that, I was raised Catholic, and technically in most religions, I believe they say that past lives don't exist. I don't recall this. I don't remember learning that, because for me, for as long as I can remember, I remember connecting to my past lives. And part of how I always knew that was even as a kid, when I met people, I felt like I knew them before. So for the skeptics, for people who don't really believe in past lives or they're not really sure, there's some things that can happen in this life that can help you to know, like, okay, maybe I do believe in them. One thing is when you come across people and you feel like you've known them before. This is often because you have had a life with them before. And this is what we call karma. So we end up meeting them in this life and we end up having a whole relationship with them. And one thing that's really interesting is oftentimes in families, you keep incarnating with the same people. So maybe in this life you are the mother, and then in the next life you're the child, or once you were lovers and then you have a parent-child dynamic. So it's really fascinating the way we continue to have relationships from life to life to life. And sometimes if we learn the lesson and heal the karma, there's like peace and it's all good. However, if we don't learn the lesson, we keep replaying patterns out in every lifetime. So that's why you might notice you have a certain kind of karmic relationship when it comes to romantic relationships, or maybe you have some kind of karmic pattern with your work, or whatever it might be. And this could be because you're carrying it from past life to past life, from life to life to life. So the great news is you have an opportunity to heal your past lives and your present life in every moment. And your past lives are a tool. They're one modality to help you heal in this life, to help you transform in this life. Because sometimes in past lives, so I hear, oh yes, I'm such a big believer in that. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Please share your comments as I speak things and they resonate with you. Definitely share what resonates with you. So then what happens is in this life, we have an opportunity. We can end the karma, or we can keep living out these patterns in our relationship. And the way we change our karma is we make different decisions and we choose to learn the lessons. So for example, in that post, that Instagram post that I did a few days ago, I was talking about how in a past life, I didn't speak up. There was a battle happening. I was a native shaman and I was watching it and I was heartbroken. I was like, why are they doing this? Like, there's not going to be a winner, right? And I even now have so much anger about colonization. Like, I have many lives as a native and I still feel from those lives anger at what happened, at the genocide, at the killing, at disrupting harmonious living situations. So I still feel it, and I excuse me for transmitting the anger. So what happens is, like, I've had to do forgiveness in this life for those lives so that I can release some of this anger, right? So there's a protocol and a process that I always take people through when we're connecting with past lives. It's always a healing protocol. It's always a healing process. And we do that because it supports us in this life. So for example, by me going back to that past life, I can witness where I decided to close my throat and close my voice, especially in relationship to something that was very emotionally painful. And then in this life, I can choose something different. I can say, oh, I did that. And then I keep doing that, but the results are not good. So I'm changing what I'm going to do this life. And I'm going to reclaim my power. So partially when we go back to do past life healings, we're also doing soul retrieval. Like a piece, wherever there was a trauma or a wound or a pain, we left a part of ourselves there as a form of protection. It's almost like it helps us to forget when we leave those parts. But the truth is we want to integrate it. We want to learn the lessons. We want to be returning to our wholeness. We are whole. Everything we need is inside of us. Sometimes it's like a scavenger hunt. We're going back and collecting all the pieces. So the second thing that's really powerful when it comes to past lives is we can receive the knowledge, the wisdom, the skills that we learned in past lives. We can bring them into this life. So a way, for example, if you don't believe in past lives, that's okay. I like having these conversations with people who don't believe it. One thing that I like to remind people of, when you think of child prodigies, so this child that comes and he can play these compositions, and it's where did you learn that? He learned it from a past life. So when there's you're a mathematician genius and you have these incredible skills that you never learned in this life, is because you received it from past lives. So I have that, for example, with a lot of the spiritual wisdom and information I share. It's not that I learned it in this life. I'm bringing it from past lives and I'm just remembering. So part of spiritual awakening is remembering your past lives. So you remembering your past lives can literally create an instant transformation in you, an instant reclamation of power, an instant infusion of knowledge. So you become wiser, smarter, you have more resources available to you. So that's another reason why you're going to want to connect to your past lives. And then the other reason that I'm going to share today, there's many reasons to connect to your past lives, but another reason is you can change your timeline. So what I mean by that is time is all your lives are happening at the same time. It's hard to think about that, right? It's what? Yes, your future lives, your past lives, this life, all happening at the same time. You change one, you change them all. Fascinating, right? You're but how could that be? So one way that I'll remind you is with Nelson Mandela, for example. That's an example where there's two endings. Sometimes people are but didn't he die in prison or did he die in old age? There's conflicting stories. It's because timelines were changed. So if you want to change your future outcome, you can go back and heal a past life where something affected you so deeply that it's affected how you live. So for example, if there is something that you are shy about, let's say if you're here to speak in front of millions of people, or you're here to do some kind of important work, but there's a part of you that resists it so much, it could be because of a wound in your past life. So if you go back in time and you heal that life, you can change your future to be the future you're here to live, versus living the same story over and over and over again. So I hope that this is just a taste, a taste to remind you of why you may want to connect to your past lives. And if you're on a healing and transformational journey, I really invite you to start connecting to your past lives. And now, of course, there's like multiple ways you can go about doing that. But first, let's recap. So the recap is, why do you want to connect to your past lives? So you want to connect to your past lives for healing, for transformation, for personal development, to transform your relationships in current time, heal things of the past so you can have better relationship karma, to heal your future so you can come here to live the life you came here to live, to reclaim your power, the wisdom, the knowledge that you received in past lives and bring it here and integrate it here. So there's a lot of reasons. And you have 3 choices, right? So you could, like, my recommendation is to absolutely do something, but you could just listen to this and be like, oh, whatever. I don't need to connect to my past lives. This is cool. I listened to it. Great. But I don't really care about my past lives. And that's fine. The second thing is you can go and start to learn more about it. There's a lot of books on past lives. There's a lot of ways that you can guide yourself in meditations. There's ways that you can be guided by others. And that brings me to the third way. So you can team up with me and I can be a support for you. I can help you to connect to your past lives. It's something I do all the time for my clients, and it's so profound and so life-changing. Like even recently, I had a woman come into my Ultimate Woman program, and in that program, every module you get taken on a journey to connect to your past life in a different way, a different kind of past life. And when she went back, she connected to a time in Egypt in one of the modules, in the priestess module. And when she did that, she remembered her life as a priestess, as a high priestess. And when you're a priestess, you really connect to divine energy. And she's someone that's stepping more into her power as an Akashic record reader. And just in this month, she's brought in over $6,000 in client sessions, aside from her current job, because she went back and really connected to that life much more powerfully. And all of that helps her in her trajectory for this life. So you see how powerful that is? So with that, I invite you to message me on Instagram and send me a message, and I'd love to chat with you about options of how I can support you in connecting to your past life. I do this because I'm so passionate about supporting people in their healing and transformation journey. And specifically, I think past lives are such a powerful modality that's not used that often. But when it is used, it is so, so powerful. It's like instant transformation. And so with that, I invite you to reach out with me. I would love to chat with you more to see how I can support you in connecting to your past life, because you deserve to live your ultimate life. You deserve to heal whatever has happened in the past so that it no longer defines your future. So I send you so much love. I'm Dr. Nikki Starr, aka Dr. Love, and this is just another tip on supporting you in living your ultimate life. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again soon. Okay, so someone wrote, going back to a life has had that something to do with it most. So there's many ways to go about it. So there's many ways. So I definitely invite you to reach out to me, and I'm glad to explain all the different ways. So I send you love. Thank you for being here, and bye for now.